the last time you sat here about 50 weeks ago was after a very difficult loss. Since then, you've had one of the most amazing years of tennis. You're number one. You just won Wimbledon, medaled at the Olympics. Did you take anything from that match that led to this amazing year, or would you attribute it to some other factors that you want to enumerate first?
Well, I mean, I think it's not only last year's match that made me get back to world number one. There's been a lot of sacrifices done before this match here. As you remember, I also had a tough loss at Wimbledon. That one definitely also shook things up a little bit. But then when it happened the second time around, after being up 2-0, you know, I took a bit of a break after going to Sydney for Davis Cup the following week after here, and took some time to assess the situation and how should I move forward. And then, of course, it was great to start off with the win in Basel last year in my hometown, and then the rest we know. So it's been a great last 12 months, and was able to stay injury free. And I mean, I always did believe that if things, you know, turned for the better for me, I was going to be always very near to world number one. I mean, I wasn't far off, but I couldn't plan with Novak going on a 40-match winning streak, or, you know, Rafa going for almost 4 Grand Slams in a row as well. So other guys also have their part to play in it. It's not only up to purely myself, and that's where you have to be patient sometimes and just keep working hard and believing that what you're doing is the right thing as well.
I believe your twin daughters, Mr. Federer, are turning 3 years old, and they were at Wimbledon when you won this year. And I've heard you quoted saying that having the family has helped you become a better player. I know in years past there were champions that sometimes got distracted when they got married or were juggling family and career. Do you think that having the children, being married, has made you a better player?
I mean, not worse. I'm back to world number one. So, and honestly, I think, was it 2009 when the kids were born? I think I won Cincinnati. I think about the second tournament back, and then when I turned 30, I also right away won a tournament where people thought now I'm old. So I think it's always worked out well for me. But of course, it's not been just easy cruising either. You know, having twin daughters and traveling and trying to manage the situation with my wife and the kids, and just seeing what's best, what can we learn. It was a hard process too, you know. I mean, not that we're through it, but it's definitely getting a little bit easier now that they're 3 and not newborns. So it also definitely had its role to play. But I'm happy I've been able to combine it, because first up, when I heard that Mirka was pregnant with twins, I was worried about my practices. I was worried about the playing schedule, that it was never going to be the same again. But my wife has made it work for me, and she's made incredible sacrifices for all the family, and I couldn't be more grateful and more thankful. So it's been a great ride, and yeah. So for that reason, having that Wimbledon victory plus seeing my kids in the stands after the match was, yeah, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So it was a dream come true for me.
Last fall, the term 1%er became part of the American lexicon. The Occupy Wall Street movement, where 1% of supposedly the Americans own 99% of the wealth. It seems like in your business, 1% of the ATP Tour wins 99% of the tournaments. Is that good for the industry? I know it's good for you, but is it good for the industry?
I think it is, you know, to be quite honest, that it's great that people follow tennis, that they know most likely who they will see, you know, in the final rounds. I mean, it's been incredible to see the top 4 guys for so long now. Let's just say it's at least 5, plus me and Rafa. We had more years to that, I guess 8 or so. Just how consistent we've been, because it wasn't always like that. Back in the day, you had much more, you know, the good hardcore players, the good clay court players, the good grass court players, and then obviously throughout the slams you wouldn't match up, but now everybody shows up at the slams and plays so well. That's why there's such a shock to it now that Rafa pulled out. People almost can't believe it, but back in the day, people always used to pull out from time to time from Grand Slams because of injury, or because of being tired, or because of scheduling. So things have obviously changed in a big way in the last years, and you always go through transition periods as well, which was the case at the end of the 90s, a little bit maybe in the beginning of 2000, until 2004, I'd say. And then some like it different, that there's a different champion every week, you know, and some prefer the continuity. I think the combo is a good one for sure.
Roger, as you've returned to number one, Serena Williams has returned to a dominant position. What are your observations of the way she's playing and maybe the place she has in the history of the game now with her coming back to this dominant form?
I mean, it's just nice to see them still playing. They've been around for a long, long time. I think they maybe started 3 years earlier than I did on tour, and both Serena and Venus are same age, if not older. So I mean, of course, women make the breakthrough earlier, but they have much more tough teenage years than I have, because I was still playing the juniors. So you can't really compare them. That's where I think just her longevity is already very nice to see in the sport that in the past maybe has retired many greats early. You know, at 23, 25, 27, you name it, it's all happened. So it's nice seeing them still playing really, really well, and almost a full schedule, you know, because we know she's had some issues, and so I think that makes the return to the top of the rankings and to the top of the game even more exciting. And I think it's great what she's done over the last 15 plus years, but it's been an amazing summer for her, like for me as well, and it's been nice seeing it. Then again, I don't know how well she's exactly playing, because I am not the expert of women's tennis, even though I'm married to a former women's tennis player, but from what I saw, I thought she played great.
What sense do you have of how she's dominated?
Well, I mean, we always knew that probably if she's on, she's very hard to beat, and I think she just proved that point again in the summer.
Roger, can I get your thoughts on the Lance Armstrong saga?
Don't know enough about it, to be honest, and I didn't follow it from the beginning till now. I heard the story come out that he's not going to pursue anymore the whole process. So I don't know what to say about it, because I didn't follow it enough, to be honest. Yeah.
Roger, can you talk about how different you feel coming to Open this year as opposed to last year as world #1? Did you feel different at all?
How did I feel last year? I mean, I think I felt good last year, but probably felt that maybe at times the matches were not always in my racket, whereas maybe this time around I feel like if I'm playing well, I can't dictate who's going to win or lose, you know. So it's going to take something special for my opponent to win. That's kind of how I feel right now. But then again, I might walk away from Monday and lost in the first round. So you have to be always very careful in how you say it and how you then play. So I'll take it one match at a time. There's no doubt about that. I'll never ever underestimate an opponent ever again. I did that enough when I was a teenager, so those times are long gone. But I'm just happy how I'm playing. I already reached my goal for the year, becoming world #1 and getting Wimbledon again and getting a medal for Switzerland. So it's been incredible, but I do have this one left for me this year where I really, really want to do well, and couldn't be more happy returning here as world #1. It's super exciting. There's no doubt about that.